Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Rebuild Windenburg video for my save file. So yeah, I haven't worked on anything in Windenburg in, I don't even know how long it's been at this point. It has been a while. I think the last build that I did for this world for my save was the Munch families, like country, family, home type thing. Anyway, I'll leave it linked on the screen. But basically, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit inspired by the new high school years pack. Obviously, I don't have the pack yet, and this technically has nothing to do with high school. But since the pack got announced, I've really been wanting to build something for like students or, you know, dorm type stuff, anything like that. So basically, I decided that I'm going to build a dorm building for university students in Windenburg. So if you didn't know, I'm rebuilding all of the worlds for my save file, and I'm adding in a couple of extra like student housing lots in different worlds. So there's not really a couple, it's like two of them. But basically, I have all of the student housing in Brightchester, and I have like all of the dorm buildings in Brightchester for your, Foxbury and Brightchester University, obviously. But then I also went through and I added a Foxbury student housing lot in Newcrest. And that was the Newcrest student apartments lot. I'll leave it linked on the screen as well in case you want to check it out. But basically, since I already had a like extra student housing lot for Foxbury students, I also wanted one for Brightchester students. And I figured, what better place to build something for a like Brightchester affiliated dorm type thing than Windenburg. What better place to build it than Windenburg? So we're building in Windenburg. We're building on I think this was originally called the Factory 1 lot. The lot where the party house family or like household used to live. So like, those 4 roommates, they used to live here. I just evicted them and I'm going to have them live somewhere else in Windenburg probably. But I really wanted to build a converted factory, and this also is because of the werewolves pack, because obviously that pack did come with quite a few very good like factory industrial type items, just to go with the overall vibe of that pack. And I think I'm kind of like, I'm not sick of building in Moonwood Mall at all, but at this point I think I needed to build something in a different world, because I've mostly only been building in Moonwood Mall since, since werewolves, since I got early access to werewolves. So around like maybe I think it was like the 14th or 13th or something. I can't remember when werewolves were released, but basically it was quite, it's been a while. It's been almost a month, I think. Honestly, I can't remember when werewolves were released, so it probably wasn't at the beginning of June. It was probably more towards the end of June, but at this point, honestly, time has ceased to mean anything to me. So yeah, I can't remember exact dates, but basically since werewolves came out, I haven't built in any other worlds apart from Moonwood Mall, and I needed to do something different. I needed to build in a different world, and still, it's kind of the style that a lot of my builds have been in the past couple of weeks, so it's still very industrial. But it's, like I said, different world, totally different, like, purpose for the lot. It's not a residential lot, it's actually a student housing dorm lot. So, yeah, obviously the requirements and all of that stuff were quite different, and it was really nice getting out of my comfort zone as well, because even though a lot of my recent builds have been a little bit more industrial, I really struggle with factory builds in particular. If you follow me over on Twitter, you already know this because I did complain about it on Twitter. But you'll notice in this build that I had to cut out a lot. There are a lot of cuts in this video where you'll, like just now, for example, where I like have one thing on the screen and then it cuts and it really kind of looks completely different. Because I had to play around with this build so much off camera. There was so many, like, I spent so much time just, changing stuff, trying to see what works, what doesn't. Because a factory build in, like, traditionally is just a very square or rectangular, like, box. It's a very boxy thing. And even though I was looking at a couple of like reference images, a lot of like the real life reference images, like I said, are very boxy. They're very much stuff that doesn't really work in The Sims. I mean, it works, but it doesn't really look good in The Sims. So Whimsy Alien Abby, actually over on Twitter, I'll leave Abby's Twitter linked below because yeah, she's absolutely amazing. She's an amazing storyteller. She tells stories over on Twitter, like in like tweet form, if that makes sense, like dialogue and all of that stuff. She's amazing at that. She's also an amazing builder. So yeah, I'll leave her Twitter link down below. But basically, Abby told me that whenever she builds factories, she tends to look at like 3D art or like 3D renders and stuff of factories instead of like actual real life factories, because 3D art and like renders and stuff, they tend to be a lot more interesting to look at, and they give you a lot more to like work off of and, you know, play around with. So yeah, I took that idea, ran with it, did look at a couple of pictures, and yeah, so I did end up changing the shape of this build quite a lot. I ended up messing with the roofing so much. It was an absolute nightmare to get it, you know, to look kind of how I pictured in my head and not super like weird, if that makes sense. So yeah, I also messed around with those chimney stacks at the back a lot off camera. The way they look now is not the way that they end up looking at the end, so you'll see that as we get along, get like further into the video. But yeah, so figuring all of that out was an absolute nightmare, and I almost gave up on this build like halfway through the exterior, because it wasn't working. And eventually I found I got it to work, and I actually really like the way it turned out. We're working on the back currently of the lot, and I actually ended up flipping the lot around at some point and having the back be the front, just because I like the way the entrance at the back looks a little bit more than the one at the front currently, if that makes sense. So yeah, I like having the smaller staircase at the front and the little overhang at the top and all of that stuff. So I do end up flipping the lot around and then just moving the chimney stacks, you know, to the other side of the build, if that makes sense. So yeah, we do that on camera, I think. But yeah, so something else I do just want to mention is, you probably heard my dog a couple of minutes ago. You probably heard him barking. I'm really sorry about that. I can't really stop him from doing that because I'm in my room and, you know, he's outside. And also, it's currently like almost 4 p.m. and obviously I don't usually record at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So yeah, there's a lot of like cars going by, and he has a really big hatred for motorcycles for some reason. Like any motorcycle, like mopeds, big motorcycles, scooters, bikes, anything like that. He absolutely hates them. Like, I don't know why. He has like an absolutely irrational hatred for motorcycles. And yeah, whenever he even remotely hears one, he absolutely loses his mind, like completely. So if you heard him a little bit ago, I'm really sorry about that. I'm hoping he doesn't do it again. But yeah, like I said, recording this at a time that's not usually my normal recording time, because I finished editing this last night. Funny story, but I actually built this over the course of a couple of days, because like I said, it took me a while to get it to work the way I wanted it to. And I built it over the course of a couple of days. And then, not last night, but the night before that, so like Wednesday night-ish, yeah, I think it was Wednesday night, I sat down to edit this video, and it turned out that I had like 6.5 hours worth of footage, and I couldn't do it. My brain just didn't want to cooperate with me, and it didn't want to edit that video because it took me forever. So that's why this video is going up on Friday instead of like Wednesday or Thursday, which is when I usually like uploading, like in the week. But yeah, it couldn't be helped. I couldn't get the video done. And then last night I actually sat down, finished the editing, but I finished the editing at like 3 a.m. in the morning. And because this video is like almost 40 minutes long, just the voiceover part of the video, this isn't like counting the, you know, screenshots and all of that stuff. I think the like video portion is like 37-ish minutes. But basically, because it's a really long voiceover, I didn't want to do it at like 3 a.m. because I was really tired at that point. I was kind of loopy as well, and you know, just my brain was like all over the place, so I really didn't want to do the voiceover then. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this like this afternoon, and I'm trying to get everything done before 6 p.m. when we have load shedding. And if you're if you've been on the channel for a while, you probably know what load shedding is, or if you follow me over on Twitter. But basically, for those of you that don't know, South Africa has this wonderful habit of going into like long periods of load shedding, and load shedding is basically like rolling blackouts, like rolling power cuts where we have different stages, and depending on the stage, it tells us, how many times a day our power is going to be off, all of that stuff. It's very irritating. But basically, our power goes off for like 2 to 2.5 hours at a time, and that can happen like 3 or 4 times a day. We do have a schedule for it and everything, so currently our power is going to go off at 6 p.m. until like 8:30, and then again at 12 a.m. tonight until 2:30 a.m., which is probably the most irritating time slot for someone like me who works on her computer and who also does most of her work at night for various different reasons. So yeah, it's very irritating, but yeah, that's why I'm trying to get this done before 6 p.m. so that I can have it, I'm trying to get this voiceover done now, and then, get everything edited, rendered, uploaded, scheduled, and everything, because, yeah, power goes off at 6, and then this video is supposed to go out at 7. So, when this video goes out, I'm going to be sitting in the dark, working on I don't know what, because I won't have power. But yeah, it's really irritating, and that's also why videos have been a little bit slower the past like week and a half or so, 2 weeks, because dealing with all of that, you kind of like have to work everything in your life around when you have power and when you don't. So it's really irritating. But yeah, enough about that. Talking about the build again. So this build is on a 30 by 20 lot, obviously. It's a factory, it's a dorm building, so there's 6 different bedrooms upstairs. Doing the layout for this build as well was a total pain in the ass. I mean, really trying to lay out a build that's basically a perfect rectangle is the most irritating thing ever, because nothing looks right. But at the end of the day, I ended up finding something that I kind of like. It kind of works. I did playtest everything, so everything works. They can get up all of the staircases. They can get into all of the rooms. They can use everything and all of that stuff. So everything works. I did playtest it. I made sure, because I wasn't sure when I put in those spandrels downstairs, like those big industrial spandrels. I wasn't sure if they were going to obstruct the staircase, or, Sims walking underneath them and all of that stuff. I also, the way I put the lights downstairs, I also playtested those, and your Sims can walk underneath all of them. So yeah, you shouldn't have any routing problems as far as I know. I mean, I didn't, so yeah, hopefully you won't either. But basically the way I did the layout for this was downstairs on the first floor. There's it's kind of like the hangout area. So there's a TV, there's a little I say living room loosely, but living room space. There's at the back, there's a ping pong table, a jukebox, a dartboard, so very much like a hangout space for Sims to just have fun. There's also quite a few skill building items on this lot as well, because I figured, they would have to get their skills up and stuff for university, for classes and everything. So there's a bunch of bookcases downstairs. There's also a couple of bar height tables that I kind of have set up as desk. So there's obviously bar stools at them, but 2 of them have laptops on them. So I wanted to make it look like, someone has sat down there and, pulled out their laptop and started studying or whatever downstairs. So there's 2 of those tables. So there's 2 laptops downstairs. There's a lot of bookcases. Like I said, there's a chess table. There's a couple of art easels as well, and then, so yeah, that's the first floor. There's also 2 half bathrooms on the first floor, so just like a toilet and a sink. And on the second floor is where the bedrooms are. Now there's also a little common space type thing in the middle of the top floor around, that big tree that I have. You'll see that a little bit better once we get into the interior, but basically there's this big tree in the middle that has a skylight and everything. But around that is kind of also a little common space. So there's 2 kitchenette areas with a mini fridge, a sink, a microwave, a coffee maker. two of those areas. There's another like dining table up there. There's another chess table. There's another bookcase. There's a desk that actually has one of the research, like those research machines that came with like university. So the machines that your Sims can learn the research and debate skills on. I have one of those upstairs. There's also a couple of musical instruments as well, and then obviously the bedrooms. Now, you might be thinking, where's the bathrooms for this? Because the dorms in this build don't have their own bathrooms. So this was another reason why doing the layout was so like hard for me, because I really wanted to have bathrooms close to all of the bedrooms. Even if I couldn't make them like en suites or whatever, I wanted them to be at least close to each other. But also I wanted to have at least 6 bedrooms. And unless I made the build a lot bigger and basically used the whole lot for the build, there was just no way I was going to fit that in. Not with the way I had to do the layout and the staircases and all of that stuff. So basically what I did is I ended up putting in a basement that I don't think you'll see me build the basement, but you do see me furnish the bathrooms. So there are bathrooms downstairs in the basement. Poor Sims have to go all the way down to the basement to use the toilet, but that's why I put a half bathroom, 2 of them on the first floor, so they can at least use the toilet a little bit closer. But then downstairs they have basically I split it up. So in my head it would have been, originally, obviously this was originally a factory, and in my head the only reason Brightchester hasn't like completely demolished this lot and like completely modernized the factory itself, because in my head Brightchester University does have, it's a fairly prestigious university. They have a lot of money, so they could afford to like completely modernize this factory and completely change the shape of it if they wanted to, and add extensions and all of that stuff to make it a little bit more convenient, I guess you could say. But in my head, this factory is actually classed as a kind of like a historic site, so they're not allowed to change much of the exterior of it, or like anything on the exterior wise, like exterior shape and structure and all of that stuff. They were allowed to change the interior, like the layout a little bit, and maybe knock down a couple of walls and obviously build the bedrooms, lay it out that way, but they weren't allowed to change any of the exterior or like the roofing or anything. So yeah, that's why the exterior still very much looks like a factory to me, obviously, and then the interior is a little bit more like, I guess, renovated is a good word. So downstairs, I figured, the downstairs basement probably wasn't this big originally. Maybe it was just those 4 like bathroom doors that I have over there at the end. Those are actually the shower rooms. So basically I have it split up where there's 4 rooms that have showers and sinks in them. And then there's a separate big room that has 4 like bathroom, like toilet stalls, and then obviously some more sinks in them. And then I also have a separate room that has like a little locker. That's basically like a locker room that leads into a like private gym. So basically in my head, I thought, maybe originally for like the factory workers, the basement was here, but it might have just been these 4 little rooms for like the showers. Maybe those rooms used to be the original factory bathrooms. And then when the university bought the building, they kind of like added to it, and they added, the big toilet. I'm just going to say toilet room, but yeah, the big toilet room, they added the locker room, and they added the gym for the students as well. So yeah, maybe that's kind of like, they tried to add as many amenities and stuff for the students as they could, while still, keeping the historic value of the building, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And yeah, like I mentioned, there is 6 bedrooms upstairs. So it's a little bit smaller than the like Foxbury student housing that I did. So yeah, those were actually apartments, the Foxbury ones. They were actually like standalone apartments that were basically set up as dorms, if that makes sense. So yeah, there were 8 apartments, and I think 4 of those apartments had double beds in them. So there was space for a lot of Sims in that build. But this one only has 6 bedrooms, and one of those bedrooms, not 2 of them, one of those bedrooms is actually a twin room. So there could be 7 students on this lot. So the way I furnished the bedrooms, you'll notice once we get to it eventually. I spend a lot of time in the basement for some reason. But yeah, once we get to it, you'll notice that the bedrooms are a little bit, not basic, but basically I furnished 3 of the bedrooms to be a little bit more personalized. So I will be creating Sims for this lot, the same way I did for my Foxbury, for the Foxbury apartments. I created 4 students for that lot that I, enrolled in Foxbury, enrolled in their degrees, and had them move into that student housing lot. Now, I will be doing the same for this one. Obviously, if you download my save file eventually, once it's done, I say, in air quotes, and you want to live here, but you don't want to play with the Sims that I created for this lot, then just evict them before you move your Sim into this lot. So before you have your Sim enroll and move into student housing, just evict my Sims and then move your Sims into the lot. Otherwise, you'll have to play with my Sims as well. Otherwise, they'll be added to your household. That's just the way university works. But yeah, so you can easily do that, or you can play with these Sims if you like them and like their stories or whatever. Like I said, I haven't created them yet. I do have a rough idea for their personalities, just because that's, I needed it for furnishing their rooms. But basically I personalized 3 of the bedrooms, and then 3 of them I did off camera. You'll see it once I get to furnishing my 3 bedrooms, I guess I could say. But the other 3 bedrooms are basically just, they all just have basic furniture in them. So they have, just a bed in them. They have the same dresser. They have the same end table, desk, some basic decor, 1 or 2 posters on the walls, and that's it. So I try to make it as basic and as, it's functional. It's totally functional. You could have, the NPC dorms, NPC students that move in will be totally fine in those rooms. And they're also really easy to personalize as well. If you wanted to maybe just renovate one of those rooms for your Sims or whatever, then you could totally do that. They all have the exact same furniture in them. But you'll notice that I also tried to use a lot of the same furniture items for the bedrooms. So I think I used 3 different beds. I used both of the single beds from university. So the more IKEA looking one, and then also the more I guess traditional older looking one. And then I also used a bed from Dream Home Decorator that kind of fit in with the colors and stuff. So I used those 3 beds, and I kind of alternated them in the bedrooms. And I used the exact same wardrobe, the long standing wardrobe from university. I used the exact same one in all of the bedrooms. The exact same end tables. I also use the exact same mirrors as well, and the exact same bookcases. So every bedroom has 1 bookcase in it. So it has those locker bookcases that came with university. So I use those in all of the bedrooms. So they kind of have very uniform furniture in them. They're all the exact same swatches as well, apart from the beds. The beds are a little bit different because I couldn't deal with having 6 of the same beds in a build. I couldn't. So yeah, all of the beds are a little bit different, but all of the other furniture have the exact same swatches, and they all have desks in them as well, and everything like that. But basically, I wanted this build to look kind of industrial. You'll notice with the furniture downstairs, I wanted it to have some industrial touches, but I didn't want it to look run down. So I do put a couple of cracks and, stuff like that in the walls, and, especially outside as well, because in my head, it is an older building. They do their best to, I guess, maintain it as best as possible, but it is a little bit older. It does have some cracks and stuff that they maybe just haven't gotten around to, fixing yet or whatever. But I didn't want the build on the inside, the furniture and stuff, I didn't want those to look run down or broken or anything like that. I wanted it to look still industrial. There are a couple of industrial pieces and touches and all of that stuff, but I also wanted to include a couple of modern things. So I did use quite a bit of Dream Home Decorator, funnily enough, And then also I wanted to include a couple of like older furniture pieces because, like I said, Brightchester is a fairly old university, fairly prestigious. So I wanted to include a couple of like trophies and some older, chairs and stuff like that. That kind of looks a little bit more posh, if that makes sense. Which, that's definitely the vibe that Brightchester gives me. And, same with the bookcases and all of that stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I try to go for. And then also I wanted to use a lot of green because green and, I think, green and gold, like green and yellow, are basically Brightchester's colors. So, obviously, I wanted to have as much of that representation in, the build as I possibly could. So, yeah, that's everything about the build, apart from the bedrooms that I personalized, which I'll talk about in just a second once we get, closer to them. But something else I wanted to mention that I probably should have mentioned way earlier in this video, but you'll have been able to tell from the title and the description and all of that stuff. But I'm actually hosting a giveaway in this video, and this giveaway is for a code for the High School Years expansion pack. Now, usually whenever I do giveaways for new packs, I do them like when the pack releases. But for this one, I kind of want to host the giveaway now, and I want to have it running until the 28th. So until the day that the pack releases. That way, once I, close the giveaway and I pick the winner, I can give you your code immediately. And, you can have it like on release day. You don't have to wait like, a week until after release for me to close the giveaway and pick a winner. You can like have the code on release day if you win. So yeah, I wanted to do it that way. So this giveaway will be running from today. So today is the 8th, I think. Yeah, the 8th of July. And it will be running until the 28th, which is, I think, a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a Thursday. So the 28th of July at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's, I think, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it is. And I believe that's like 9 p.m. CET or like 9 p.m. my time, South Africa time. Anyway, I don't trust me when it comes to time zones, okay? I'm not very good at time zones. But just Google whatever time that is for you. But it's definitely 12 p.m. Pacific time. So Pacific like US time. So 12 p.m. Pacific time is when the giveaway will close. So it will be running for about 20 days or so. So it gives you more than enough time to enter and everything like that. I'll be doing it through Gleam, the same way I did the werewolves one and the same way I've done a couple of other giveaways in the past as well. It's just the easiest way for me to keep track of everyone that enters, obviously keep all of your entries in one place. I don't have to like run around and cross-reference like, comments and all of that stuff. It makes the whole giveaway process so much easier, and it's also completely safe. So, I don't see any of your personal information or anything like that. You can choose, the way you log in. So you can log in through either your email, through your YouTube, through your Twitter, or through your Facebook, I think is the way I usually set it up. So, you can choose the way you log in. You can choose, which accounts you connect and all of that stuff. So, and there's also multiple different ways for you to enter. So, for example, if I have 10 different ways for you to enter, and you enter with every single one of those like items, or like every single one of those options, I guess you could say, then you get 10 different entries, which obviously increases your chances of winning. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out. I'll leave the link right at the top of the description, so definitely go ahead, check out the Gleam link. I might even have a link, I might even set it up so you can have like add a new entry every single day if you do something like watch a video or something. I might do that if I can figure out how to do it, but otherwise, just go check it out, enter, and yeah, then keep an eye out on the 28th on your like Twitter or whatever you used to enter. I'll probably be contacting the winner through either Twitter, their email, or through Facebook. That's probably the easiest way of doing it. And then if you leave a comment on this video, leave me a comment on this video as well, so I might even, respond to your comment as well. But yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out, check out the link and all of that stuff. This is only unfortunately for PC and Mac, because I do get the code through the EA Creator Network, so thank you so much to them for that. But I do get the code through the Creator Network, and that means that it's unfortunately only a PC/Mac code, and you can only redeem it through Origin. Unfortunately, you can't redeem it through Steam or anything like that, just Origin. But yeah, so, and also something really random that I do want to mention. I don't know how many people would care about this, but this code won't have those like pre-release early, like not early access, but those pre-order incentives that they have for this pack. So like, I don't know, something about streaming, like the streaming chair and something or other if you pre-order the pack before a certain date. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. But yeah, this code won't have those items, unfortunately, just because of, how those types of things work, apparently. I don't know. I don't know anything about how it works, setting up gaming codes and all of that stuff for packs. So yeah, it's just what I've been told, basically. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check out all of the giveaway information. I'll have everything listed, like written out in the description as well. And I'll have everything written out in the pinned comment too. And yeah, 12 p.m. Pacific time on the 28th is when the giveaway will close. The winner will have 24 hours to respond. Just to make it fair to everyone, if the winner doesn't respond within 24 hours, I will pick another winner, unfortunately. But this is like a totally random process. So it's like a randomly generated thing. So I will pick another winner if the original winner doesn't respond. And then once the winner has been contacted and, I've given them their code and they've told me that they've redeemed it, then I will go through and I'll change the pinned comment, I'll change the description, and I'll let you all know that, the winner has redeemed their code, everything like that, just so that you know that, everyone has been contacted and received their codes and everything like that. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to mention. So that's everything about the giveaway. Now, moving back to the build and the Sims that I figured would live here. So currently we're working on the twin bedroom. You'll have noticed that I already did all of the generic bedrooms off camera. But we're currently working on the twin bedroom, so like the double bedroom. And this is actually the only bedroom that doesn't have a desk. So I couldn't fit the desk in here with wanting to have, obviously, the two beds. I wanted to have the wardrobe and all of that stuff. So there just wasn't space for desks as well. But yeah, so we have two girls in this bedroom, two sisters, twins actually, funnily enough. One of them is trans, but yeah, so the trans Sim, so basically I'm just going to say the yellow bed and the pink bed Sim, because I don't have names for them yet. But yeah, so the yellow orangey bed Sim is in the communications degree. She's also in the debate club, like the debate thing, after school thing that you can do with university. And they're studying communications, and she actually also really, really loves plants. So all of the plants in the bedroom are probably going to be hers, and she's even commandeered part of her sister's bedroom for more of her plants. And then the other sister actually is in the history degree, so she studies history, I think. Yeah, she studies history, and she's really into yoga and meditation. So the meditation stool and the yoga mat in their room are actually hers. And I did playtest both of those. They actually work. I didn't think they would, with being that close to the bed and stuff. But they actually work. Both of the beds work as well. So yeah, everything should be fine. Now, moving on to the other bedrooms. So that's the bedroom on the back, I think. Yeah, I think that's the bedroom on the back of the build. And then I furnished two of the bedrooms on the front. So the first bedroom, the one that we're working on right now, is, I'm going to call it the light green bedroom, the light green bedroom. And this bedroom is actually for an artist. So he's actually in the fine arts, I think, yeah, the fine arts degree. And he's also in the art society, and he does a lot of actual painting on canvas. So I do have an art easel in his bedroom, and then I also have a digital sketch pad in his bedroom as well that I end up adding. But I do I do hop between the two bedrooms a lot. But yeah, so we have the artist bedroom in that room, and then in the last bedroom is the dark green bedroom, basically. And this he is actually in the drama. He's in the drama degree. He studies drama. And he's also, in my head, he's part of the Spirit Corps, the Spirit Corps of Brightchester. And he's also really into photography. So I do have a couple of not photographs. I do have a couple of cameras and stuff like that on his desk, and then yeah, just a lot of like Brightchester spirit, you know, school spirit stuff around his bedroom. So yeah, those are the 3 bedrooms that I furnished. Obviously, I couldn't tell you much about the Sims because I don't really know much about them yet because, yeah, I haven't created them. So, yeah, it's going to be fun creating these Sims. And, yeah, then obviously the other 3 bedrooms are just basic. The funny thing that I noticed when I was taking the screenshots is that you'll notice that all of the bedroom doors, I kind of like alternated them, like one is black, one is gray, one is black, and then the other side it's inverted, so it's like gray, black, gray, or something like that. And I actually ended up furnishing or like personalizing all of the like gray bedrooms. So all 3 of the bedrooms that have gray doors, I ended up personalizing them. And the 3 bedrooms that have black doors are the ones that are basic or like just, you know, generically furnished, which is, it's kind of funny. It's not, I didn't do that intentionally. It was actually just an accident, and I noticed it when I was taking the screenshots. But yeah, that was something funny that I, you know, found out or like saw afterwards. But yeah, that's basically everything about the build. We're just going to go back through outside and add a couple of, you know, decorations and, you know, just some finishing touches and everything like that. But if you want to download this build, it is up on the gallery. It's up on the gallery under my gallery ID, which is ChrissieYT, or you can search for hashtag ChrissieYT. I will also have a download link to the online gallery website in the description, as well as the tray files. The tray files will be uploaded for my channel members to my community tab. So if you're a channel member, then you will be able to grab the tray files for this build or any of my other builds as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, then feel free to hit the subscribe button. And remember to turn on notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. But yeah, I'm really glad if you guys sat through all of this. If you sat through this long video, thank you so much. Hope you all have a great day and a great rest of your week. And I'll talk to you in my very next video. Bye everyone.
Tonight we're running on the right track. I know we never gonna look back. Oh, I just wanna have a good time. Call me whatever, 'cause I'm up for anything like that. Oh no, we don't wanna do slow-mo, so tonight we just let go. To the beat in the street, every freak out singing like. Sing like from my given disaster. Speed away from the holy mind. Pride, that's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road tonight. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. In the heat from a hot California, I forgot how you look like in rain. I swear I never